Hello, beautiful people and boxing maniacs. Thanks for clicking and please bear with me. This is just a random video. 2023 is about to end in few days, and it was a big year for our beautiful sports of boxing. And as a fan, I just wanted to put some things out for you to go through and for you to suggest me what do you think about that. We saw some incredible fights like Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr., some high caliber fights like Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards, Ryan Garcia versus Tank, Joyce, Parker, and other fights as well. We saw some big upsets, a lot of fans heartbroken, a lot of fighters' dream crushed, and we saw some blockbuster cards as well. A new player in the game of fight promotion, Saudi Arabia. And it's a beautiful thing, fighter deserves all the money in the world because they put the most important things in their life, their health, for our entertainment. And they don't get the appreciation in return. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is, we all want, normally every boxing fan clamors for fighters to fight big fights, tough fights, to fight the bad and the biggest out there. But whenever a fight happens and the fights or the fighters fans are supporting does not live up to the expectation of the fans, they go pretty hard on them, calling them all sorts of things, and that is one of the reason that boxers are very afraid of the stigma that comes when you lose a boxing fight. And that's one of the reasons as well. A lot of surging contenders in the boxing, they don't look for tough fights out there when they are climbing the rank before they reach the championship belt, because they just want the easiest way possible so that they can get to the belt without losing, because it's not their fault. The fans have created that hostility for them, that hostile environment. They have seen in the past fighters after fighters go through the same things. A lot of people were mad at Errol Spence Jr., like he was a fraud or this or that, or he was a one dimensional fighter. No, he was a great fighter. He still is a great fighter. He just fought a guy who was a little better. Like every person has a nemesis that they can't get through. And Errol Spence just met his, Terence Crawford. And if Terence Crawford fights long enough, you'll find somebody who will be better than him. You can say a lot of fans right now say that he should fight Boots because Boots might be that one, but we will never figure that out until that fight happens, will we? But the most recent is Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker. Wilder lost that fight. In the last five fights, Wilder has won one and has one draw and three losses, in which two losses was very devastating against one of the best boxer in the world, Tyson Fury. And his last fight was against Joseph Parker, who was a former champion who fought Anthony Joshua on the peak of his power, and he fought him well. Yeah, he didn't win the fight, but he did not allow Joshua to open up so that he could put some great damage on Joshua Parker. That did not happen. So that guy is really sound. He is a great champion. So, and result of that is people are shitting on Deontay Wilder. I saw a lot of people saying he was a hype, he was a fraud, he was trash, he was undimensional. Yeah, but his family is doing well, and most importantly, he always seeked the biggest and baddest fight. When he became WBC champion, he was seeking to fight Vladimir Klitschko. That fight didn't happen. Then he chased Anthony Joshua after he beat Klitschko. That fight didn't happen. Then he hit Tyson Fury and he brought him out of the oblivion. He fought him. That fight was draw. We always said and we still think that Wilder has that eraser of the right hand. And we saw in the two fights against Fury that that wide right hand was effective. I believe when I saw the fight against Joshua Parker and the last fight against Fury as well, Malik Scott is a great friend of Wilder, but he isn't an elite coach, not at this moment. And at this moment, Wilder needed somebody, an experienced coach. If Wilder was pressing, then that fight would have been at least more competitive. Because if Joshua Parker could have was going backward, like against Joe Joyce, that fight would have been really different. But that is the thing of the past. But what I'm trying to say that you can't penalize or be harsh to somebody for trying to be a warrior like Deontay Wilder always have been. You have to appreciate him. He started boxing late. He won a bronze medal. Not many person can say that. And that's one of the things which is really different about MMA, that no matter how many fights you lose, the fans will be always behind you. Yeah, if you lose today, they might be sore for a bit. Like as a fan, they are invested in you and they want you to succeed. But when you fail, they might be harsh. But when you fight next time, or when the next fight is about to announce, when they cool down, they will appreciate you. And I'm not saying that about boxing as well. There are a lot of fans who do not go to the social media and shit on fighters, and those are the true fans. And those people who do that, that doesn't mean they are bad people. That means that they are just way too much invested, or they bet some money that they lost. So that's the thing. But that is something to see, that fighters, the contender who are seeking to become champion, they seek somebody who is always above them in the ranking. They seek former champions. If a champion loses belt in MMA, they seek to fight the next contender who is said to be going to fight for the title. And that's how it works. That's why MMA is really exciting. That's why it has quickly become one of the biggest combat sports after boxing. Of course, boxing is still the king. It will always be the pinnacle because boxing is aesthetically really pleasing. It is a mixture of combat plus athleticism. Sorry, English is not my first language. There are a lot of MMA fighters with many losses, like Ned Diaz. He fought Jake Paul. He has more than he hasn't won a fight in around last 5 years or last 8 years. He has only one victory, but still he will fight for 25 minutes and for 10 seconds he will have a great moment, and fans will remember that. They will cheer for him. So that's how MMA fans are, and that's how boxing fans should be as well. Like the losses should not be penalized. Like Anthony Joshua, everybody says Anthony Joshua is back. He never left. He just lost to a great fighter, and he fought another one who was not an elite fighter like Alexander Usyk, and he looked really damn good. Another thing American boxing especially can learn from UK boxing is that if you look at the UK heavyweight landscape, or most of their fighters like Derek Chisora, Dillian Whyte, even Anthony Joshua, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Chris Eubanks Jr., they all have losses, but what would you find that fans really support them? they are always behind them. Yeah, there are always a segment of fans who are mad, like for the reason I explained, but generally they are always behind them. That kind of support US fighters doesn't get. US fans does not provide them, and Deontay Wilder is a big example of that. And so you have to normalize losses against great fighters. You have to normalize an effort to fight a champion for daring to be great. You have to appreciate, give some love to the fighters. Tell them that you support them. People still remember Leonard Hearns, that era. Leonard, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearn, Roberto Duran, those guys, Hagler fought each other. They lost to each other. And people remember them. Nobody care about their losses. People talk about like Floyd Mayweather changed thing about losses. Nah, he didn't do that. He just didn't lose, and that was good for him. But what happened is that in current generation, fighters took it that way. Like they just wanted to save their streak, winning streak. If I'm telling you, if today, if fighters started fighting each other, big competition, then you'll find that that thing will normalize real fast within 2 to 3 years. And I hope it happens that way. And I hope when that happens, when fighters are seeking the best competition possible and losing and winning, then I hope fans are kind to them and they support them and they don't be a jerk to them like people are being to Deontay Wilder right now, and that's not fair. I remember when I was young, Floyd Mayweather talking about his uncle Roger Mayweather. I was watching YouTube, and he was really sad. He was talking about his uncle that in the age of 50, he is like an 80-year-old man, and because he was his main trainer, so that's what boxing does to people, and that's what happens when you see great competition, when you fight long enough and hard enough. And so, the most important things the fighters remember at the end of the day, they might look superhuman, they might look like a warrior, but they are human beings, they have feelings, and they appreciate the support of their fans, even though they don't admit it, but they really do. So be kind to them, be nice to them, and reach out to them, even though they might not see, they might not reply to all of you, but they remember, like, yeah, his, their fans care about them. So just support boxing, be nice, support the fighters, be kind to them, ride with them, win or lose. And if you have watched long enough, then please subscribe to me so that we can see each other later. Thank you. Take care. Happy holidays. God bless.